Have you ever wondered what the Bible really says about humanity's relationship with the planet? When you read in Genesis that God gave humans dominion over the earth, what does that actually mean? For a lot of people, that word sounds pretty harsh. It can sound like a blank check to exploit the earth's resources without a second thought. On the other hand, some people wonder if the Bible has anything to say at all about environmental care, or if it's purely focused on a human-centered rule. This question is incredibly relevant today as we grapple with issues like climate change, sustainability, and our personal responsibility. How does our faith shape the way we treat the world around us? Let's dive into what Genesis actually teaches. To really get this, we need to step back in time. In the ancient world, particularly in the Near East where the book of Genesis was written, kings weren't just political leaders. They were seen as representatives of the gods. They were tasked with ruling a specific territory on behalf of a divine authority. So, when the Bible uses the word dominion, it's using a concept its original audience would have immediately understood. It meant having authority, yes, but that authority was always tied to responsibility. It was about managing and developing the land, not destroying it. Now here's what makes Genesis so revolutionary. Many other ancient creation myths from that time, like those from Babylon or Egypt, portrayed humans as an afterthought. We were often seen as slaves, created simply to do the grunt work for the gods so they could relax. But Genesis flips that narrative completely on its head. It says that all of humanity, not just a king or a pharaoh, is made in the image of God. This extends a royal, kingly calling to every single person. It dignifies humanity in a way that was unheard of. So, instead of being slaves to the gods, we are appointed as God's co-regents, His representatives, tasked with caring for and governing creation under His ultimate authority. This view was culturally unique, and it elevates both human dignity and our responsibility in a profound way. So, when we look at the text itself, Genesis clearly presents a theology of what we would today call stewardship. When God gives humanity dominion, He isn't giving us permission to be reckless or abusive. He's assigning a sacred trust. He's calling us to rule as He would rule, with wisdom, with creativity, and with care. And if we had any doubts, Genesis chapter 2 provides the perfect balance. It paints a more intimate picture, describing the first human as a gardener. God places Adam in the Garden of Eden with the specific instruction to work it and keep it. The Hebrew words used there imply cultivation and protection. It's a call to serve and preserve the garden. So, dominion and care are two sides of the same coin. They must go together. Authority without responsibility is never a biblical concept. The big takeaway from Genesis is that we are managers, not owners. We are caretakers, not conquerors. The Bible reinforces this idea time and time again. Let's look at a few key verses. First, you have Genesis 1, verses 26 through 28. This is the famous passage where God says, "Let us make mankind in our image, and let them rule over all the earth." Notice how the call to have dominion is directly connected to being made in God's image. Our rule is meant to be a reflection of His character. Then, as we just mentioned, Genesis 2:15 gives us the practical job description: to work it and keep it, emphasizing active care and protection. Later in the Bible, Psalm 8 beautifully reflects on this theme. The psalmist marvels that God has crowned humanity with glory and honor and put everything under their feet. This isn't a song of human arrogance, it's a hymn of awe at the delegated authority God has entrusted to us. Finally, a verse like Leviticus 25:23 provides a crucial reminder. God says to Israel, "The land must not be sold permanently, because the land is mine, and you reside in my land as foreigners and strangers." This powerful statement makes it crystal clear. God is the ultimate owner. We are just tenants, stewards managing His property. When you put all these passages together, you get a consistent and compelling theology of responsible rule. So what does this mean for our core beliefs? First, it establishes that God is the rightful, sovereign owner of all creation. It's His world. Second, it defines humanity's unique role as God's representatives on earth, His vice-regents. We are here to carry out His will for His creation. And third, and this is so important, it teaches that authority is always tied to accountability. You can't have one without the other. This theology has massive implications. It shapes our Christian ethics, it forms the foundation for environmental responsibility, and it gives meaning to our work and purpose. When we rule well, when we create, cultivate, and care for what's been given to us, we are reflecting the very character of God to the world. This isn't just abstract theology. It has a direct impact on how we live every single day. As followers of Jesus, this truth calls us to action. It means we should care for the environment responsibly. This can look like recycling, reducing waste, conserving energy, or supporting efforts that protect natural habitats. It's not about politics. It's about honoring the Creator. It also means we should use our resources wisely. Whether it's money, time, or talent, we are called not to be wasteful, but to be fruitful and productive. And it extends to our leadership. In any position of authority we hold, whether it's as a parent, a manager at work, or a leader in our community, we are called to lead with humility, service, and care for those under our charge. The principle is universal. Whether we're talking about the planet, our job, our family, or our relationships, everything that has been entrusted to us is something we will one day give an account for. So, to wrap it all up, Genesis presents a clear and consistent theology of humanity's role. It's not one of reckless exploitation, but of responsible stewardship. It's not about domination, but about diligent care. God, in His incredible generosity, entrusted His beautiful and complex world into human hands. He calls us to reflect His wisdom, His creativity, and His love in how we rule and serve within it. So I want to encourage you today to live with intention, to steward faithfully whatever God has placed in your hands, and to always remember that the earth is the Lord's, and we have the high calling of being His faithful servants. Thanks so much for watching. If this was helpful, please like and subscribe for more content just like this. See you next time.